$0, maximum fun. Here are 25 of the best free games on PS5 you can download and play right now. First up at number 1, Fortnite is the most played free game on PS5 for good reason. Epic Games consistently delivers seasonal content updates that reshape the entire island, introduce new mechanics, and bring in massive crossover events from every corner of pop culture imaginable. The Zero Build mode stripped away the original building mechanics and gave the game a second life by welcoming a massive new audience of players who prefer pure gunfight focus. On PS5, the 120 FPS mode delivers buttery smooth gameplay that makes the already responsive shooting feel even sharper. The Creative mode adds a whole second dimension of player-made content that extends the experience far beyond the Battle Royale core. Number 2 is Apex Legends, a battle royale that set itself apart from the competition through Respawn Entertainment's exceptional movement system and deeply refined gunplay. Each legend brings a unique set of abilities that create natural team compositions and tactical opportunities that pure shooting games simply cannot replicate. The ping system is one of the most intuitive communication tools ever designed for a multiplayer game, making coordination with strangers genuinely effective without requiring voice chat. Seasonal updates rotate new legends, maps, and limited-time modes into the rotation with enough regularity to keep the meta shifting meaningfully throughout the year. Coming in at 3, Warframe is one of the longest-running and most content-rich free games available on any platform, and its PS5 version benefits from fast loading and smooth performance across its extensive library of missions. You play as a Tenno, an ancient warrior piloting a powerful biomechanical suit called a Warframe through a vast solar system filled with different factions, environments, and story threads. The movement system, combining bullet jumping, wall running, and aerial combat, is still one of the most satisfying to master in any free game. The developer, Digital Extremes, continues to release major story expansions that push the narrative and game systems forward year after year. At number 4, Marvel Rivals arrived and immediately became one of the most discussed hero shooters in years. The 6v6 team-based format takes familiar Overwatch-style mechanics and applies them to a roster pulled from deep across the entire Marvel universe, from Spider-Man to Magneto to the Hulk. Destructible environments set it apart from comparable games, as hero abilities and team interactions can reshape the map during a match in ways that create genuinely dynamic tactical situations. The roster continues to expand through regular updates, and the variety of hero playstyles available gives it significant long-term depth. Number 5 is Genshin Impact, arguably the most ambitious free game ever made. Offering an enormous open world filled with distinct regions, dozens of fully voice-playable characters, elemental combat mechanics, and an ongoing story that has been expanding since launch. Each major region draws from different real-world cultural inspirations and delivers new environments, characters, and gameplay systems that feel meaningfully distinct from what came before. The gacha character acquisition system is the main monetization method, but the base game delivers an extraordinary amount of content entirely free. New story updates arrive on a regular 6-week patch cycle. Arriving at 6, Call of Duty Warzone is the battle royale entry in the long-running Call of Duty franchise, carrying forward the tight gunplay the series is known for into a large-scale free format. The movement system and weapon handling are best in class for the genre, and the sheer variety of weapons available through the deep loadout customization system gives players enormous flexibility in how they approach each match. The Resurgence mode, offering faster respawn opportunities, gives it a more action-oriented pace compared to traditional battle royales, making it more accessible for players who prefer constant engagement over slower tactical play. Number 7 is Overwatch 2. The team-based hero shooter from Blizzard that shifted to a free-to-play model and brought its refined 5v5 format to PS5, with strong performance and consistent content updates. The roster of heroes covers an enormous range of playstyles across damage, support, and tank roles, and learning the interactions between different team compositions gives the game genuine strategic depth beneath its accessible surface. Seasonal updates introduce new heroes, maps, game modes, and limited time events on a schedule that keeps the active player base engaged throughout the year. At number 8, Destiny 2 remains one of the most technically polished shooters available on any platform, with gunplay that many consider the best in class for the entire first-person genre. The free-to-play base gives access to a substantial amount of content, including patrol zones, strikes, and the core story campaigns, while endgame raids and seasonal content sit behind expansion purchases. The PS5 version runs at a smooth frame rate, and the haptic feedback integration adds a layer of tactile response to the already exceptional weapon handling. The live service structure keeps dedicated players returning regularly. Number 9 is PUBG Battlegrounds, the game that defined the Battle Royale genre, now available as a completely free download on PS5. The slower and more methodical pace distinguishes it clearly from faster competitors, rewarding careful map positioning, looting strategy, and deliberate engagement timing over raw mechanical speed. Multiple maps offer dramatically different tactical landscapes, from the open fields of Erangel to the dense urban environments of Taigo. The realistic damage model means individual engagements carry genuine weight, and a single well-placed shot can end a match in an instant, regardless of your equipment level. Coming in at 10, Rainbow Six Siege made the move to fully free-to-play in 2025 and remains one of the most mechanically demanding and tactically deep shooters on PS5. The destructible environment system combined with operator-specific abilities creates a game where map knowledge, gadget timing, and team communication matter as much as raw aiming skill. One-shot headshots and single-life rounds generate a level of per-match tension that more respawn-friendly shooters cannot match. The enormous operator roster gives players a huge variety of tactical roles to master, and the competitive ranked mode has a high skill ceiling that rewards long-term investment. Number 11 is Valorant, the tactical round-based shooter from Riot Games that successfully brought its precise PC formula to PS5, with console-specific optimizations that feel considered rather than compromised. Each agent carries a set of abilities that must be used strategically to create advantages, but the fundamental outcome of every round is still determined by sharp gunplay and careful positioning. The round economy system adds a layer of financial strategy to match decisions, and coordinating purchases with teammates is as important as the shooting itself. Regular updates introduce new agents and map rotations that keep the competitive scene evolving. At 12 is Skate, the long-awaited free-to-play entry in the beloved skateboarding franchise that returned after years of fan demand with a massive social open world set in the city of San Vansterdam. The physics-driven control system rewards genuine skill development through careful weight management and timing rather than button combo execution, and the satisfying feeling of landing a well-constructed line never gets old. User-created parks and community sessions make it as much a social platform as a skateboarding game. Ongoing updates add new districts and live events that keep the open city feeling fresh. Number 13 is Naraka Bladepoint, a battle royale that replaces firearms with melee combat inspired by martial arts traditions, and delivers something genuinely unique in the crowded free-to-play space. The grappling hook movement system creates fluid traversal across environments that rewards spatial creativity, and the close-range combat built around parries, counters, and ability combinations has real depth for players willing to invest in mastering it. The mythological visual design is distinct and beautiful, and the variety of heroes available gives different players meaningful options for expressing their preferred combat style. Coming in at 14, Honkai Star Rail is the turn-based space fantasy RPG from Hoyoverse that builds on the studio's expertise in free-to-play game design with a polished and story-rich experience. The strategic turn-based combat system involves managing a party of 4 characters across encounters that reward understanding elemental interactions and character synergies. The narrative quality is noticeably high for a free game, with fully voiced story content across multiple worlds that feels genuinely crafted rather than purely functional. Regular updates expand both the story and the roster of playable characters consistently. Number 15 is Path of Exile 2. The action RPG sequel that arrived with an enormous amount of content and a deeply complex character building system that gives dedicated players essentially limitless optimization depth. The dark gothic atmosphere and visceral combat feel excellent on PS5, and the scale of the passive skill tree and gem-based ability system creates a theory crafting experience unlike anything else in the free-to-play space. The campaign delivers a substantial story experience before opening into endgame content, and the developers continue to expand both through regular major updates. At 16, we have Rocket League, the vehicular soccer game that has been free since 2020 and remains one of the most purely skill-expressive competitive games available on PS5. The deceptively simple concept of hitting a giant ball into a goal with rocket-powered cars contains an enormous skill ceiling built around aerial control, boost management, rotational positioning, and team coordination that separates beginners from experts dramatically. The PS5 version runs at a high frame rate that makes the precise physics-based gameplay feel extremely responsive. Cross-platform play means fast matchmaking at all skill levels.
Number 17 is eFootball 2025, Konami's free-to-play football simulation that offers one of the most technically detailed recreations of the sport available without any upfront cost. The dribbling mechanics and ball physics have been refined significantly from earlier versions, and the licensed club content gives fans access to authentic rosters and kits from many of the world's biggest football clubs. The online match modes deliver a genuinely competitive football experience, and for players who simply want to enjoy the sport on PS5 without spending money on competing titles, this remains a compelling and regularly updated option.
Entering at 18, Fall Guys remains one of the most joyful and chaotic free multiplayer experiences on PS5, packing dozens of players into colorful obstacle course rounds that eliminate contestants progressively until one winner survives. The variety of minigame types keeps each show feeling unpredictable, and the creative and frequently updated seasonal content introduces new rounds, cosmetics, and limited-time modes. The accessibility of the concept makes it easy to pick up and play in short sessions, and the sheer absurdity of watching dozens of bean-shaped characters tumble through escalating physical comedy never fully loses its appeal. At number 19, Multiverses is the platform fighter from Warner Bros. That assembles an enormous roster of characters pulled from across the entire WB Entertainment catalog into a free-to-play format with polished competitive mechanics. The 2 versus 2 team structure distinguishes it from traditional platform fighters by emphasizing partner synergy and cooperative ability combinations that reward communication and planning. The PS5 version runs cleanly, and the roster continues to expand with new characters drawn from beloved franchises. For fans of the fighting game genre looking for a free entry point, this delivers genuine mechanical depth. Number 20 is Smite 2, the third-person mythology-based MOBA that puts players directly into the action rather than viewing it from above like traditional games in the genre. Controlling gods from pantheons spanning Greek, Norse, Egyptian, and Chinese mythology in real-time combat creates a more physically engaging experience than most MOBAs, and the skill shot-based ability design rewards precise aim alongside strategic decision-making. The rebuilt sequel improves visuals and systems significantly over the original, and the free-to-play model gives access to a rotating roster of gods with the full collection available through dedicated play. Coming in at 21, Arknight's Enfield is the ambitious console RPG expansion of the beloved mobile strategy franchise, delivering a 3-dimensional open world and real-time combat that builds on the tower defense and character collection foundations of its predecessor. The industrial sci-fi aesthetic on the dangerous planet of Talos 2 is visually distinctive and richly realized, and the base-building mechanics add a layer of strategic depth beyond the exploration and combat loops. The character pull system follows the gacha structure, but early game rewards are generous enough to experience the full narrative without mandatory spending. Number 22 is Enlisted, the squad-based World War II shooter that puts players in command of both a primary soldier and a full squad of AI-controlled troops simultaneously across massive historical battles on iconic fronts. The combination of personal skill and squad management creates a distinctive tactical experience that sits between individual Twitch shooters and large-scale strategy games. Multiple branches covering different theaters of the war give the game significant content breadth, and the vehicle combat, including tanks, aircraft, and naval vessels, adds enormous variety to the available gameplay modes. At 23, we have Splitgate 2, the arena shooter that combines the tight movement and gunplay of classic arena shooting with a portal mechanic system that lets players create traversal shortcuts and unexpected attack angles at will. The portal system creates a unique tactical dimension where map control means not just physical positioning, but also controlling which teleportation paths are available at any given moment. The fast-paced arena shooting core feels refined and satisfying on PS5, and the portal mechanics give players with spatial creativity a meaningful advantage that rewards unconventional thinking. Number 24 is Brawlhalla, the platform fighter that has been quietly delivering one of the most accessible and regularly updated free fighting game experiences available on any platform for years. The roster of legends covers an enormous variety of weapon combinations and playstyles, and the simple input structure makes it easy to begin playing, while deeper mechanics around spacing, reads, and punish windows provide long-term competitive depth. Cross-platform play across every major platform means strong matchmaking at all hours, and frequent seasonal updates introduce new legends, maps, and game modes consistently. Closing the list at 25 is Super People, the battle royale that sets itself apart through its deep character class system, giving each player unique superpowers and class-specific weapons that shape a completely individual playstyle within each match. The crafting system layered over traditional battle royale looting adds a strategic resource management dimension, and the escalating power progression across a match creates satisfying momentum as characters grow stronger over time. The PS5 version delivers strong performance across its large maps, and the class variety gives the game significant replay value as players explore different power combinations.